So when there's a event that doesn't require, it's not in progress, we're going to take and reroute that call to our telephone reporting unit, which will be operational from 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. And then the hours from 3 a.m. to 7, those calls will be queued up for the person that comes in at 7 a.m. to take the reports in the morning.
You heard what he said. There's major updates going on right now. And if you're in trouble, you're on your own. You'll call 11 and it's a chat, not a rescue. Just 20 officers covering all of Pittsburgh in the wee hours. They say it's enough. But hey, if you or me hiding from a burglar at 3 a.m., jotting down the ordeals for the record is not going to cut it at all. We're looking at major changes, no cops for what they're calling non-emergency stuff. Basically, they're saying you got an issue, you're talking it over the phone. And yeah, this is happening because basically they're short on police. Way short. 20 officers, that's really short. Everyone's talking, including the residents, the council, even the police union. This isn't just a little shakeup, it's a whole new game. But let's talk about what could go wrong. Pittsburgh's basically rolled out the red carpet for trouble. A 4-hour window where it's open season for crime. That's unheard of. You dial 911 hoping for help and what? You get a whole time longer than your music playlist. This move that they're trying to make, it's a big gamble. And if crime spikes, you gotta wonder, will other cities follow suit? Because a lot of other cities are actually short on polices too. Imagine a trend where calling for help gets you a wait time instead of an actual response. They might even include AI in this stuff, right? AI police. Who's to know what's really going to go on behind this stuff? Maybe they're using new technology to help with this. That's what it sounds like. They're using AI to give you guys robotic responses. It's a wild thought, right? But here we are. Pittsburgh's experiment could be a sign of things to come elsewhere if we're not careful. It's kind of funny in a you gotta laugh or you'll cry way. Hello, this is 911. Your whole time is now 4 hours. Yeah, that type of you laugh or cry later.
America, we done messed up now. Check this out.
The FBI director said we have an estimated 80,000 terrorists on American soil. Well, we just had a very disturbing event. There are two disturbing events. One is getting no coverage. John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, 4 other senators had an impromptu press conference, but only the alternative media covered it, and I played portions of it for you on my channel. Now, what they described was they encountered sex traffickers, couldn't do anything about it. Biden's policies, release. Then they caught terrorists with IEDs, release. They took the IEDs, but they released them. Now they've discovered multiple IEDs crossing the border. Multiple IEDs crossing the border. It's too late, baby. Now it's too late. No money for Ukraine. All money to border security for whatever that's going to be worth now. But we can maybe contain the damage that's coming. We are going to be hit by massive terrorist attacks. There is no avoiding this.
Oh my God.
And we've seen the signs. Senators are telling us, Border Patrol is telling us, everyone but the mainstream media and the global elite are telling us it's too late, baby. Now it's too late. We're going to get massively hit. I pray for each and every one of your safety, but I pray also too that you exercise good discretion in terms of going to public events. And I think the holiday season here is prime time. Oh, wait a minute. We just had a terrorist event. It's called a takedown. We're going to cover that a little later here, and I'm doing an interview with Doug Thornton on that later tonight. Hey, it's time. It's time that we stand up and just say this government doesn't represent us. They're about taking us down. They created the conditions that have allowed this to happen.
For sure.
And we can't let this go unnoticed, and we can't go without responding.
We're on Foster and Kedzie in Chicago. We're at a former Marine Training Center, U.S. Marine Training Center, that the city of Chicago bought with TIF money. It's a tax increment financing for new, kind of like to encourage business and jobs. But they bought this facility, which is over here to the right, a Marine Training Center. It's next to a bus barn. It's also next to North Park University and Northeastern College. The back of this property backs up to Northside Prep High School, Chicago Public High School. So we have a high school touching a migrant center.
And they've taken that, they bought this, now they've turned it into a illegal migrant facility. How many people are here?
It's unclear. There's no transparency on that. We see families coming and going out of here. Supposedly, according to one publication, they paid $1.4 million for it. It's several acres of land. It's probably worth several million. if it was developed into some kind of other property. So it's odd how the city bought it and who actually, if they bought it from the federal government. So again, there's no transparency on any of what's going on with the migrant centers. And they don't want anybody going inside the former Marine base. So again, this is city property, public land. And we'll see what they say when we get up here.
I love these signs. There's no trespassing here at this location, but if you trespassed into our country, you came into our country legally, then you're allowed in. But American citizens can't trespass here. You talk about salt in the wound, the irony of what we're doing to our country. Think about the sacrifice of all the Marines that have come before. And now we're literally using these facilities to invite in invaders into our country.
This is not an accident. Within Biden's first 100 days in office, he signed an executive order requiring non-citizens, aka illegal immigrants, to be included in the U.S. Census, which directly influences the apportionment of congressional representatives in the House. Some experts warn that illegal immigrants account for 22 seats in the House of Representatives. Republicans only hold a majority in the House by 8 seats, so this 22 seats is very significant. And Biden and the Democrats know that. That's why they're allowing this to happen.
They brought them here and put them in the hood because they want us to fight each other. And by us, I mean us. I just got a phone call from a homegirl and she's talking to me about the immigrants that are now in the hood and how they are now creating gangs. And think about it, they put them in all the hoods around the U.S. and all the Democratic states where all the black people and brown people live. Here I was thinking that they were being brought here so they can fight Americans, but really they're being brought here so they can create chaos in the black and brown neighborhoods. I'm originally from right outside of Chicago, and my homegirl's in Chicago now, and she said they are hanging out on every street corner all through our old neighborhood. And once they start committing all these crimes, they're going to get arrested, and then they're going to be used for the slave labor in these big prisons. That's why they're creating cop cities. They all have this planned out completely. I think we're going to see a major outburst in criminal activity, and we're going to begin to fight these people in our own neighborhood because they already had that planned. They brought them here and put them in the hood because they want us to fight each other. And by us, I mean us. I just got a phone call from a homegirl and she's talking to me about the immigrants that are now in the hood and how they are now creating gangs. And think about it, they put them in all the hoods around the U.S. and all the Democratic states where all the black people and brown people live. Here I was thinking that they were being brought here so they can fight Americans, but really they're being brought here so they can create chaos in the black and brown neighborhoods. I'm originally from right outside of Chicago, and my homegirl's in Chicago now, and she said they are hanging out on every street corner all through our old neighborhood. And once they start committing all these crimes, they're going to get arrested, and then they're going to be used for the slave labor in these big prisons. That's why they're creating cop cities. They all have this planned out completely. I think we're going to see a major outburst in criminal activity, and we're going to begin to fight these people in our own neighborhood because they already had that planned.
Listen to this Democratic senator talking about the people we care about most. I can tell you what, it's not U.S. citizens.
Oh, you are right that has been the Democratic strategy for 30 years, maybe, and it has failed to deliver for the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country. For the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country.
Today I'm going to sign a few executive orders to strengthen the immigration system, building on the executive actions I took on day one to protect dreamers and to end the Muslim ban and to better manage our borders. And that's what these 3 different executive orders are about. And I want to make it clear, there's a lot of talk with good reason about the number of executive orders that I've signed. I'm not making new law. I'm eliminating bad policy.
With executive authority, is there more you could do? Absent
That's all I can do. Give me the power. I've asked for the very day I got in office. Give me the border patrol. Give me the people, the judges. Give me the people who can stop this and make it work right.
Also at 11, mass migration concerns. Tonight, Florida politicians, including our Governor Ron DeSantis, are bracing for a possible surge of Haitian refugees packing into boats and arriving on our shores.
The governor announcing today he is sending troops here to South Florida. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor is in North Miami with new reaction.
North Miami's mayor is Haitian American. He said that the words of Governor Ron DeSantis resonate in this community, especially after he said that the state faces the possibility of invasion. At this barbershop in North Miami, there's fear for the future of Haitians.
The people leave their house, they don't have any place to stay. That's the reason like people try to leave Haiti to come to the United States.
And concerns over a possible influx of Haitian migrants to South Florida are growing. On Tuesday, the U.S. Coast Guard intercepted a boat off the coast of the Bahamas. It was filled with 65 Haitians. They were all sent back.
They don't disperse throughout the country.
But Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz says the deteriorating conditions in Haiti may lead to a wave of Haitians making their way to Florida on boats.
What are we doing to prepare for that wave and to ensure that these people are not paroled into the United States as the administration has done with people on the southern border, but instead are repatriated back at the dock at Port-au-Prince?
On Wednesday, Governor Ron DeSantis issued a statement. It says, "I have directed the Division of Emergency Management, the Florida State Guard, and state law enforcement agencies to deploy over 250 additional officers and soldiers to the southern coast of Florida to protect our state." He goes on to say, when a state faces the possibility of invasion, it has the right and duty to defend its territory and people.
Invasion? Come on.
Alex DeStolm is the mayor of North Miami, the city with the highest concentration of Haitian Americans in the nation. He is appalled by the reaction from Washington, D.C. and Tallahassee.
It's a humanitarian crisis. It's almost going to be a civil war. And there are talks, there might be some influx of Haitian coming to the U.S. There's no evasion. If the governor wanted to have a conversation, we are here. I think it would have been best for it to see, what is it that we could do for the Haitian American community, for their families and friends, but to put out, this evasion of illegal immigrants, it's not right.
We notice many of these Haitians fear expressing their opinions for apparent retaliation here in the U.S. and Haiti. And according to U.S. officials, the Biden administration is discussing whether using Guantanamo Bay to process Haitian migrants if there should be an exodus to the U.S. Now, the White House has not confirmed that, but the crisis continues. In North Miami, Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
Growing fears of a mass migration because of the crisis in Haiti. Authorities are on edge from South Florida to Washington, D.C. The State Department and Pentagon are on alert and keeping a close eye on what's happening on the ground in Haiti.
And Governor Ron DeSantis is taking action to make sure Florida is prepared for a possible mass migration. Let's get right out now to Local 10's Glenna Milberg, live in Miami's Little Haiti neighborhood with our top story at 6. Glenna.
Calvin, Nicole, just let me start with this. There is by all accounts, no evidence right now of a pending mass exodus from Haiti. But there is certainly plenty of history for that. And with all of the focus right now on the border and border security, state plans that are already in place are getting beefed up.
Even as the international community gets behind a new Haiti-led transition plan to end the gang uprising.
Choose a new prime minister, an interim prime minister, to establish a National Security Council, and to put in place an electoral commission.
The warlords, technically now at the power, are announcing they will not participate. And Florida is preparing for a potential influx of desperate people. With this letter today, the governor added 133 state guardsmen and women and this list of state personnel, air and water support, mostly to the Keys, to an ongoing migrant interception plan.
There's no evidence of it. Right now, people cannot leave their house. There's no public transportation.
There is no current intel of an exodus, but there is decades of history of it. Most recently, the 15,000 Haitians that surged the southern border in the months after the assassination of then-President Jovenel Moïse. A potential migrant crisis adding to current political tensions over border security.
Tyson laying off 1,200 workers after closing its pork factory in Perry, Iowa, only later to announce 52,000 jobs for migrants.
The company's excuse, migrants are getting the jobs that Americans don't want. A human resources executive for the company telling Bloomberg the migrants have been, quote, very loyal. They've been uprooted, and what they want is stability. What they want is a sense of belonging.
There you have it. Tyson Foods boycotting and sacks 1,300 of their staff. They're going to rehire illegals, and they're going to give them lawyers for their immigration process. Tyson Foods, you have just stooped to the lowest level common denominator there are, because you're taking away from the citizens and giving it to the people who don't even deserve it. Paying them $16.50 an hour. They want to hire 42,000 asylum seekers, and they want to bump that up to 84,000 by the end of next year. So my tribe out there, you know what to do with Tyson. It's time to read some labels, get educated, share information, tribe time, because this is unacceptable.
My people, I have thought about invading a house in the United States since I found out that there is a law that says that if a house is not inhabited, we can seize it. Guys, here in the United States, the law of squatting applies. I think that will be my next business, taking over abandoned houses.
Y creo que ese será mi próximo negocio. Invadir casas abandonadas.
Since I have looked up some codes with my African friends and they told me that they have already took over about 7 houses.
This literally looks like an episode of The Walking Dead, where you have a horde of zombies break through the initial razor wire fence, making it to the main wall to get into a human encampment. That's literally what this looks like as we're watching this right now. And the crazy thing is that this is only 30 seconds of the melee. I said that these soldiers were assaulted. Some of you may be looking at this right now and saying, well, where was the assault at? You know, they broke through and there was no assault. No, arrests were made. And there were multiple assaults that occurred. And we're going to get into that right now via an article that I'm getting ready to read for you next. But I just want us to take one more look at this video. As I stated earlier, if that's not an invasion, I don't know what is.